Hello everyone. So we are going to start the part 2 of the presentation of de novo synthesis of fatty acids. So after completion of the part 1, you have come to know that how the malonyl coenzyme A, it is produced from the acetyl coenzyme A, and its utilization in the method of de novo fatty acid synthesis. Now in the part 2 we are going to deal with some complexes or some steps which are basically used in the process of fatty acid synthesis. So we are going to start without any further late. So first of all, you see the reactions of fatty acid synthesis. Basically, you should know that the fatty acid synthase, what is that? The fatty acid synthase, it's a multifunctional enzyme. First of all, it's a multifunctional enzyme. Moreover, in the eukaryotic cell, like in humans, this fatty acid synthase, it actually exists as a dimer of two identical units. Means this enzyme complex, it have two identical units, right? Now each of this monomer of this dimer, actually they have 7 different enzymes. Each of the monomer, I repeat, each of this monomer have 7 different enzymes which a carrier, and this carrier it is known as acyl carrier protein, and in short it is also known as the ACP, and it is bound to 4' phosphopentadiene. I repeat, it is bound to 4' phosphopentadiene. Now this fatty acid synthase function actually as a single unit. They exist as a single unit with all these 7 reactions. They have the 7 different enzymes, and these enzymes, they perform the synthesis. Now what is the advantage of this multi-enzyme complex? As I already told you that there are 7 enzymes, they are clustered together in the dimer. So what is the advantage of having 7 different enzymes clustered together? The first advantage is that the intermediate, whatever it has formed during the synthesis of the fatty acid, they can easily interact. When they are forming a cluster, they can easily interact with one another, with the active site of this enzyme, to make the process faster. Moreover, one gene, only a single gene, it codes for all the enzymes which are involved in the fatty acid synthesis, and all the enzymes are all the enzymes, they have equimolecular concentration. They are having the same amount, or you can say same concentration, and this finally actually it enhance the speed, or it finally fasten the process of the fatty acid synthase. Now again, these fatty acids, they are actually synthesized by the condensation of the 2 carbon units. I repeat, they are synthesized by the condensation of the 2 carbon units, which are actually derived from the malonyl coenzyme A. The loading of precursor, I hope you know, it's the prior product. So the loading of the precursor, it always takes place via the thioester derivative, which is followed by the chain elongation. So it's an important process. The precursor, they will load by the thioester derivative, and subsequently it will follow the process of chain elongation. Slowly and slowly, from 2 it will form 4, from 4 it will form 8, like that it will keep on going, or it will keep on increasing the chain length. So what are the basic process? So first of all, the condensation of the precursor. The precursor, they will first condense, right? Suppose 2 plus 2, it will condense to 4, right? Then reduction will take place, then dehydration, and finally again the reduction of this product will take place. Now this FAS complex, what is that? Fatty acid synthase complex. I already told you, it's a dimer, right? It have a 2 identical monomer. They have 7 different sets, means they have 7 enzymes, they have identical sets, right? So basically you see here in this figure you will see the enzymes. The first enzyme, it is the ketoacyl synthase, right? Here, from here if we start, the next one it is the acetyl transacylase, the next one it is the malonyl transacylase, then dehydration it is done by the enzyme dehydratase, then enoyl reductase it will do the reduction, then ketoacyl reductase, and finally this one it is the ACP, acyl carrier protein, right? So this is the thioesterase. Now here there is a bone, this bone it is the 4 prime, we have already discussed, it's the 4 prime phosphopentatene. So you can see here this is 1 unit, right? This is a 1 monomer unit, here it is the second unit, so both they togetherly or in cluster they form the FAS. So we come to know that it's a multi-enzyme complex, right? Moreover, this fatty acid synthase dimer, they have identical subunit. You can see this is 1 unit, this is the other unit, these 2 subunits they are identical, or these are identical monomers, right? Moreover, each of this means each of this subunit they weight around your 240,000 Dalton, it's the weight, molecular weight, right? Moreover, each of this subunit they contain 7 enzymes of FAS, right? And ACP with a 4 prime, I already discussed, with a 4 prime phosphopentatene. Moreover, these 2 subunits they generally lie in anti-parallel or head-to-tail orientation. Again, if we see other properties are the SH group. The SH group of this phosphopentatene of one subunit, it is always remain in the close proximity. Close proximity means they are close to one another to the SH group of the cysteine residue. I repeat, the SH group of phosphopentatene of one subunit, it is always remain in close proximity or close contact with that of the SH group of cysteine residue. It's the residue of the enzyme ketoacyl synthase. So here it is the ketoacyl synthase, it is the SH residue, right? So it remains in these 2, they remains in the close proximity or close contact. Similarly here in this side, right? Moreover, each monomer of this FAS contains all the enzyme activities of fatty acid synthesis. They will have identical enzymes, and these are the enzymes which are responsible for the synthesis of the fatty acid. Only one dimer is functionally active. You remember the thing, only one dimer is functionally active. Moreover, the functional unit consists of half of each subunit interacting complementary half of the other. I repeat the sentence. The functional unit consists of half of each subunit. This is the functional unit, right? Functional division. So it will have half of each subunit interact with the complementary of the other, right? Again, if you see, this FAS structure has both functional division and subunit division. So you can divide this FAS enzyme complex or multi-enzyme complex into functional division as well as the subunit division. These 2 functional subunit of FAS independently operate. I repeat, these 2 subunits they independently operate and they synthesize 2 fatty acids simultaneously. Thus the efficiency is very high. Now you see in the FAS complex what we have actually, the first domain or the condensing unit. It is the condensing unit which actually condense 2 subunits. So it is actually the initial substrate binding site. initial substrate bind at this site. So the enzyme which actually involved in the initial process of condensations, these are nothing but the beta ketoacyl synthase, or it is also known as CE, that is the condensing enzyme. Moreover, other enzyme involved acetyl transferase AT and malonyl transacylase MT. The second domain, or the reduction unit, here the reduction process will take place. So reduction unit, it is actually denoted with DH or dehydratase, comma. Moreover, you have enoyl reductase, beta ketoacyl reductase KR, and acyl carrier protein. So this is the second domain. I repeat, dehydratase DH, enoyl reductase ER, and beta ketoacyl reductase. The acyl carrier protein which is involved here, it is actually a polypeptide chain. It is actually a polypeptide chain having a phosphopentothiene group. You should remember the ACP did have a phosphopentothiene group, to which actually the acyl groups are attached in thioester linkage. Moreover, this acyl carrier protein, that is the ACP, the acyl carrier proteins, it acts like a coenzyme A carrying fatty acyl group. I repeat, the ACP actually acts like a coenzyme A carrying fatty acyl group. Okay, now the third domain, or it is known as the releasing unit for the synthesis of the fatty acid. So the third domain actually, it involves the release of the synthesized fatty acid into the cytosol of the cell, right? Moreover, the measure of the fatty acid, most of the fatty acid which are synthesized in the eukaryotic cell, it is the palmitic acid. It's a very common fatty acid which is synthesized in the eukaryotic cell, and actually it contains the TE, or the thioesterase, or sometimes it is also known as the deacylase. So we all know that these enzymes which are there in the monomer of the FAS complex, they are going to now take part in the different steps of the fatty acid synthesis. So this step will be given in details in this coming presentation. So what are the reactions, how this reaction takes place, and how this enzyme actually, they will take different role. So we are starting with the acetyl coenzyme A. So first of all, 2 carbon fragments of acetyl coenzyme A, it is transferred to the ACP of the fatty acid synthase, and it is characterized, and it is actually catalyzed by the enzyme, it is known as the acetyl coenzyme A ACP transacylase. It is the enzyme, right? Now this acetyl unit is then transferred from the ACP to the cysteine residue of the enzyme. The cysteine residue, it is the SH, it is shown here, it is the SH, right? So it is SH, it is bound to the cysteine, right? So it will be now transferred. The ACP site, it falls vacant afterwards, and the enzyme malonyl coenzyme A ACP transacylase, it is going to now transfer the malonate from the malonyl coenzyme A to bind to the ACP. I repeat this step. I am going to show you the steps in the next slide. Now the enzyme malonyl coenzyme A ACP transacylase, this particular enzyme, it is going to transfer the malonate from the malonyl coenzyme A to bind to the ACP. Now you see here, now as I already told you, the action of the malonyl coenzyme A ACP transacylase, what is it going to do? Now this acetyl unit, it is attached to the cysteine, which it is attached to the cysteine, it is now transferred to the malonyl group which is bound to the ACP. The next step, it is this malonyl moiety, now it is going to lose a carbon dioxide molecule, CO2 molecule, which was added by the acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase enzyme, right? The next step it is that you should remember that this carbon dioxide, it is never incorporated into the fatty acid of the carbon chain. This carbon dioxide, it is never included. The next step it is the decarboxylation. So it is actually accompanied by loss of free energy. Decarboxylation, it is always accompanied by the loss of free energy, which allows the reaction to proceed forward. Now free energy is available, so it will proceed, the reaction will proceed in the forward direction. Moreover, it is now catalyzed, this reaction is catalyzed by beta ketoacyl ACP synthase. This is the enzyme, so it is going to forward the reaction now. This beta ketoacyl ACP reductase reduces the ketoacyl group to hydroxyacyl group. So this is the reaction you can see here in the right side of this slide. You can see here the reactions. And finally, the reducing equivalent, it is supplied. For this reaction, the reducing equivalent is supplied by the NADPH. NADH. Now, so from the NADH, it is going to get the reducing equivalent. The next step of this is that now the beta hydroxyacyl ACP, it will undergo dehydration. So it is going to undergo dehydration with the aid of this particular enzyme as shown in the right side of the slide. So a molecule of the water is eliminated as it has already undergone dehydration. So water molecule will be lost and a double bond will be introduced, and a double bond will be introduced between the alpha and the beta carbon, right? So here you can see a double bond, it is introduced between the alpha and the beta carbon. So this is the alpha carbon, it is close to the functional group, right? And this is the beta carbon. So here a double bond will be introduced. Moreover, a second NADPH dependent reduction will now take place, right? A second NADPH dependent reduction will now take place. So it will be catalyzed by the enzyme enoyl ACP reductase, right, to produce the acyl ACP. This is the acyl ACP. It is also known as the butyryl ACP. The 4 carbon unit attached to the ACP is butyryl group, right? Moreover, the next step is that the carbon chain attached to the ACP is transferred to the cysteine residue. Again, it will be transferred to the cysteine residue, and the reaction of the malonyl coenzyme AACP transacylase and enoyl ACP reductase are repeated 6 more times. These reactions, they are going to, the reaction which are actually catalyzed by the malonyl coenzyme AACP transacylase and enoyl ACP reductase, which I have already discussed, this is going to repeat 6 more times. Thus, you see here, finally you are going to get the palmitoyl or palmitate, right? So each time the fatty acid chain, it is lengthened by addition of 2 carbon unit, which is obtained from the malonyl coenzyme A, which we have discussed in the previous slides, right? Now at the end of the 7th cycle, when these 7 cycles are completed by virtue of these 7 enzymes, the fatty acid, it is completely synthesized, and we are going to get one 16 carbon fully saturated fatty acid, which is also known as, or it is named as, palmitate bound to ACP is produced. So this is the palmitate. It is a 16 carbon compound, right? It's a fatty acid which have a 16 carbon compound. This enzyme palmitoyl thioesterase, it separates the palmitate from the fatty acid synthase. So this is the finally, here it is going to cut off the product from the ACP, and you are going to get the palmitate, and it will remain as it is, or it is going to get involved in the further synthesis of the fatty acid. And this is the complete synthesis of the palmitate. So thank you everyone. I hope you come to know regarding the stepwise synthesis of the palmitate from this slide. If you like my video, kindly push this like icon. You can share this video with your classmates and colleagues, and for the further notification from this channel you can press the bell icon. Thank you once again.